Well, yeah, I'm being
Alright, number one. Number one should be C plus 5.
Whoa.
Whoa, now.
That's crazy.
Number two, Emily Vaught, you have, huh? I unfortunately have negative 10. Negative 10. That's why we do this, so we fix our mistakes. Number three, Andrew?
I have 8.
I also have 8. Number 4. Negative 2, negative 2.
Yeah.
Which would be right? Yeah. It's a tough one. Number 5. 5, Zach and Jeree.
Negative x.
5, I have 3x. 5 is 3x. Number 6, Madison Standler.
Negative 2x squared plus 9y squared.
It all went wrong at the y squared. Negative 2x squared plus 3. I repeat, 3y squared. 7, Emily Anderson.
Negative 3x plus 9.
Negative 3x plus 9. Negative 3x plus 9. 8, Jackson Roberts.
24.
8 is in fact 24. 9, Olivia.
6.23.
I believe it or not have negative 4.19. Negative 4.19. Number 10, Chase.
290.
Wow, I have 119. So far, so good. 11, John.
65 miles.
65 miles per hour. 65 miles per hour is correct. 12, yes or no? Clossing?
No.
That is not. You're right. No. No is correct. Correct is no. Joseph, how about number 13?
Y equals 13.
Y does equal 13. Y equals 13. Number 14, the set of whole numbers is not closed under subtraction. Wait, is that supposed to be true or false, or is it?
True or false?
Oh, is or is not? I guess the answer is not closed under subtraction. An example of that would be, Connor Morgan, 20 minus 30, which is negative 10. Negative 10 is not a whole number. 15, Sophia Yurt.
Negative 11.
Negative 11. 16, Grace. They are in fact equal. 17 should be the fraction 3/4, the decimal 0.75, and the percent 75%. 75%. Number 18, not another one of those algebraic things. In words, you could have either, well, there's a bunch of different answers. You could have 9 less than m. You could have the difference of m and 9. You could have 9 subtracted from m. Somebody has something else? Madison?
M decrease 9.
By 9. Decreased by 9.
By 9.
Miller?
M minus 9.
M minus 9.
M subtracted by 9.
That would be 9 subtracted from m would be the technical. I don't know if you ever go subtracted. I'm not sure that's. 19, Sarah Grace Taylor.
0.32.
0.32. Actually, I have 0.320. What was the question? Because do you need that or not? Wait, let me look at it. Let me see. There may be. You may need it if it said round to the nearest thousandth or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yes, I'm supposed to
Oh, yeah. You need. If it says round to the thousandths place, there has to be some digit in the thousandths place. In this case, it would be a 0. That's crystal clear, isn't it? And then last, but certainly not least, number 20. Were you supposed to fill in the table? Was that the deal?
Yeah.
Let's fill in the table. If you put, I'll just do this off, negative 2 in there, you get negative 4 plus 4, which is 0. You put 0 in there, you get 4. You put 2 in there, you get 8. And you put 1 in there, apparently you'll get 6.
There's another one.
It's really small.
There's one time.
Oh, that's what, half of, well, now I don't know what it is. Half of 4 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4? No. What is it supposed to be? I have to look back, I forgot already. Oh, 1 plus 4 is 5. Ask me.
For that question, how did you get 0 for negative 2? If it's 2 times negative 2,
Uh-huh.
it'd be 4.
No.
Hey,
2 times negative 2 is negative 4, plus 4 is nothing.
oh. Got it.
Miller,
I'm confused about 7.
you know what I would say?
Damn, you could do it.
It's better to be so confused than soaking wet.
Because I got like 3/4, but I don't see how to get 0.75.
Shoot me a number on that, will you? What number is that?
17.
Number 17. Wait, you got the probability right?
Yeah,
Wait.
but I don't know how we were supposed to get like 0.75 for that.
Oh, no, I think they were given, I would accept either of those. Most specifically, I would go with the fraction. I didn't know what the question was, but they were giving you all the possible answers, which was what, 3/4? Or as a decimal, it could be 0.75 or 75%. Me, I'm hoping for this one. I agree. I stand here and say, yeah, 3/4 would be the best of those answers. Zach wants just to start at number 1 and race through the entire test.
No. Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's nice.
Sophia, just because you got them all right doesn't mean somebody else didn't.
It would be less time because when the raise your hand and that's going to do all of them.
And then
I
ask,
find it and then.
And Zach, being the time-conscious person he is, let's do that. We didn't really talk about this, but this algebraic expression, we talked about this a little bit. If it's an expression, it's just like in English where you have clauses and phrases. They don't make sense, but they're just parts of things, and that's the same thing. When they talk about an expression, usually there's no equal signs because you don't get something equal. It's just, if to write C increased by 5, it's C plus 5. I'm not going to spend too long on that. Now, if it was minus, obviously it would be minus. Number 2. Oh boy. How many people missed number 2, by the way? People. Here you go. And again, this is more about just doing it out big, strong. I would do it. I would say if you take your time and do this slowly, your chances go up dramatically of getting it right. X is 3, so wherever I have an X, I'm going to put a 3. And Y is 2, so that would be these two things here. Now, hopefully you can see, boys and girls and children of all ages. Okay, this really is the dividing. Because of order of operations, and the last thing you do is adding and subtracting, because this is a subtraction sign, or the same as a negative sign, that will be the last thing you'll do is take this and subtract that from it. So that's the last thing in order of operations. So we simplify each parenthesis, a -3 and a -2. That's a total of 5 negatives. You're not multiplying, you're adding and subtracting there. So it's a -5, and you don't have to put in parentheses if it helps you to put in parentheses. Maybe it's confusing to put in parentheses, I don't know. Wait, no, this is really confusing. Should I write it down wrong? Because this doesn't seem to be that hard. 3 plus 2 is 5, and 5 minus 5, 5 negatives, and 5 more negatives. To me, it seems like 10 negatives. I'm not sure where the train somebody tell me where the train left the tracks on that one? It just helps me to get into the mind of myself, an 8th grader. That's at 7th grade, but you're way above 7th grade level. Where'd it go? What happened here?
So I put y equals 2, and then I put a little bit of the problem to make it look like it was a 2 squared, and so I squared the 2.
So your carelessness was the problem.
Yes.
Well, I can't teach non-carelessness. Well, I can try, but Andrew, where did you go wrong?
So, you know, -5 minus 5. I just made it as +5.
For no reason?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, looks like we got somewhere with that one. Number 3, at breakneck speed. Oh, again, same thing for this one. Please, 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 if you would just learn to take your time with this. I think this is the same thing as before. The last thing I'm going to do is add these 2 parentheses together because of this addition sign in the middle. Now people get confused with adding and subtracting, multiplying and dividing with negatives, but let's see what happens here. A is -2, B is +2, and C is -3. How many negatives do you see here? Just 1, so this whole thing's going to be negative. How many negatives do you see there? Wait, 2, so this whole thing's going to stay positive. 2 times 2 times 3 is 12. Is that right so far? Sometimes I don't. Which means I have 4 negatives and 12 positives. 4 of those negatives cross out with 4 of those positives, and you're left with looks like 8 positives, or just 8. How many people got that one wrong? Oh, we're getting better. Zach, do I have to do number 4 again? Do I have your permission to skip number 4, Zachary?
Oh yeah, you did.
Anybody want me to slow down and redo that all over again? Number 5, I would take care of this business first. -3x, 2 negatives make this a +2x, and a +4x. So the deal there is this. -3x means you have 3 negative x's added together. I know, let's just put 3 negative x's in. +2x means you have 2 x's. Here you have 4 more x's, and this is adding. So I have a total of 6 good x's here and 3 bad x's. The 3 bad mix up with the take away 3 of the
Wait, how
goods
does the 2x get turned to positive?
because it's a negative,
Oh, okay.
and that is multiplication. So like I said, you have 6 good x's and 3 bad x's, so you're left with 3 good x's. Everybody see why you got 3 good x's? We're gonna get 3 good. Wait, did somebody say no? What's that? Which part? Tell me where. Tell me where.
You got 3.
How I got 3
You got 3.
at the end?
Yeah.
You understand how I got these, but you don't understand how I got 3 at the end.
No, how did you get the middle to a positive? The 2x to a positive.
Negative times negative changes to positive.
And then
So, let's just look at it this way. I have 2 x's here, correct? And then I add 4 more x's. If I have 2 and I add 4 more x's, that's a total of 6 x's, but here I had to take 3 of those x's away.
oh,
So I'm left with, let me do this again.
Why did you do 2x and 4x first?
Well, the commutative property of addition and subtraction, or addition, you can flip these around. Technically, I'm adding all of them, so I can do it any way I want. It wouldn't matter. I can take a minus, if I have a -3x and add 2 x's, I'm still minus 1x. And if I have 4 x's and I minus 1x, I still have a 3x. It don't matter. Adding, subtracting really don't matter. Make no, never mind. I think we've made real progress here, right? I blame, mostly probably because Caleb's not here. Maybe Caleb watches.
No, you'll have to tell
We
me
have to
else
send
to
them a
watch the
link.
video.
Oh, I'll send them the link, don't you worry. It's the same thing with problem number 6, people. Okay? First thing you have to understand is like terms have to have the same letters to the same exponent. So x squared does not get along with y squared. They're two different letters. Unfortunately, just like we had in religion class today, that's evolution talking there, and it's promoting racism and all that other stuff, which we shouldn't have. We should all be able to blend it, but we can't. So this x squared only goes with this x squared, and they don't change to x to the 4th because I'm not multiplying. I have 2x squared. That means I have 2x squareds. But then I have to take 4x squareds away, which is bad because I only had 2 to start with. Okay, so these go away because they cross off with those, and I'm left with those 2, so I'm left with 2 negative x squareds. And the y squareds, fortunately, I have 6 over here, but I have to take 3 of the y squareds away, so I'm left with 3 y squareds. Want me to do that out farther again, or no? Okay with that? I'm doing what I can. Zachary, need help with that? So
why would it give 2x squared plus the 3y squared?
what's my other choice? Are you saying it should be, you thinking it should be minus 3y squareds?
Well, I don't understand how you got the positive.
Oh, I got the positive 3 because this, Sophia, means I have 6 good y squareds because I'm adding 6 y squareds. From those positive 6 y squareds, I am taking 3 of them away because I'm minusing 3 of them. What am I left with? I still have 3 positive y squareds.
Oh, okay.
It could be worse, it could be raining. Oh, this one. How many people missed 7? See, we're still in that whole distributive property from last year. Huh?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I
that's what I
said.
did.
Minus sign where?
Yeah,
I put negative 3 x
Yeah, well
minus.
then you just gotta make sure. This minus is really a negative sign, it's all the same thing. This gets counted as one thing that gets multiplied by both of those. A negative 3 and a positive x gives you a negative 3x. And a negative 3 times a negative 3 gives you a positive 9. There is no such thing as subtraction, there's just adding negatives. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but. Dramatic pause. Deep breath. Oh, this one shouldn't be too much trouble here. You are multiplying 2 negatives, so that just makes your answer positive. 3 times 8 is 24. Not much more we can do with that. Das ist gut.
Yeah.
Ja.
Job.
Das ist gut. Oh, this one. This one, this one, this one. I know a lot of people got this one wrong.
I did.
I got it. Yep, I did. Yeah, I got this one wrong.
Yeah, I got it wrong. I put a
It's still negative.
instead of 7 on. I was 1,000.
Maybe this would be the best way to think about it. Let's forget there's decimals there. Let's just take away the decimals and go negative 2 plus negative 3 minus 4 plus 6. Here. I'm just taking away, just, did I do something wrong?
Did you say wait?
He said wait please, I heard him. Just for thinking about process, take away the decimals. If you were doing this problem, what would you do? You would put these together because a plus a minus is the same thing as just a minus. That doesn't change anything. If I were doing this problem, you would combine all these or add these together and they would be negative. If I owe somebody $2 and then I owe them $3 and then I owe them $4, I'm going to owe them $9. So maybe that's the thought process. Wait, so you need to look like you don't understand that. I owe a lot. I keep owing more. So your best bet would then be to take this and add all of those together, and your answer will be negative, because that's how far you're in the hole. Negative 2.86. We don't need to put negatives. I just know my answer is going to be negative 3.24 and 471. They are getting all combined, so they are getting added together, which is you are negative 10.81 in the hole. Then, ladies and gentlemen, like over here, I ended up with a negative 9 and a positive 6. Over there, my answer is going to be negative 3. Why? Because the negatives are bigger than the 6's. The negative 9 is bigger than the 6. How do I figure out how much bigger it is? You have to subtract. But know that your answer is going to be negative because the negatives are bigger. And here's where a lot of people run into problems. They, for some reason, think that because the 6.62 on a number line is bigger, so they think that they have to try to subtract 6, do this. You can't do that. You always put the bigger number on top and to find the difference, and then your difference is going to be negative. So it needs to be 10.81 on top. Subtract 6.62. And you get 4.19, but that's negative. That is negative. And I understand why people run into trouble with that, but you have to understand, I can't take 10.81 away from 6.2. I'm finding, what you're doing is finding the difference between the negative and the positive and keeping whatever sign it is. Oh boy, think it down. Ella Miller.
So I did this last night, and I did it where you multiplied it by 100 to get the decimals away, and then I brought it.
That only works with equations. This is not an equation. It has to be equal something. You're not solving for some sort of x equals answer. You're just adding those together. If you did that, you'd end up with something 100 times bigger than it should be. Did you get 419, negative 419? Yeah. Yeah, you can't just willy-nilly multiply. It's only with the equations that you can do that because you're balancing it out on both sides. So,
Why is it negative?
because my 8.81 was negative. This is, you are more negatives than what you have in positives. Just like this. Going back to this problem, when I added all that together and I had negative 9, I have 9 negatives and I have 6 positives. Which one do I have more of? The negatives. So my answer is going to be negative because I have more of them. You know, the positives and negatives are going to cross off. 1 for 1. I'm left with a negative 3, which is what I get when I subtract those two, but my answer is negative because I have more of them. If you owe somebody $10.81, Sophia, and you have $6.62, you will give them that $6.62, but in the end, you're still going to owe them that $4.19.
Okay, but how do you get 10 figures?
Because I borrowed this much from them, I borrowed that much from them, and I borrowed that much from them, which meant I owed them this much.
So you just add those.
If they have the same sign, you add them together to keep the sign. If they have opposite signs, which these did, you subtract them and you take the sign of the bigger one.
But since they don't have the same sign,
These did, that's why I added them together.
okay.
When they have opposite signs, you subtract them. Oh, the world of integers. Actually, those aren't even integers, are they? Those are what kind of numbers, Jackson?
This is just a negative range. Yeah, here's
Rational. We're all rational here. Oh, look.
rational. Yeah, we're rational.
I can't wait for number 10. Order of operations, and I will tell you where most people go wrong. And I saw this on your quiz. People, so look up here. Please don't do this. Please, please, please don't do this. You cannot add the 3 plus 2 together, then multiply 5 times what's in there. For the simple reason is that's not the way order of operations work. this is 2 times whatever's in this thing, and multiplication has to be done before addition. So if you put 5 down and then figured out what that, you will not get the right answer. How many people did that? Because a lot of people did that on the quiz. Don't do that tomorrow. Don't do that tomorrow. It's the only time you did it. All right, so we got to work inside this bracket here. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 squared is 64. 64 minus 6 is what? 58. And you must do 2 times 58 before you can add it to the 3. This is what? 106? No, 116. And 3 added to 116 is 119. Do not do that. That's a big, big, major faux pas, which is going to be an extra credit for tonight. I can tell you, I will tell you right now, I'm going to give you faux pas as an extra credit word, and I'll bet only 3 of you care enough to look it up and figure out how to spell faux pas. Racco Robert?
What's the last step, Peter? It's like the.
Well, I multiplied 2 times 58, and I got 116. And then it was 3 plus whatever that was, which is 100. A faux pas. Half the test to go. Wait, we already did that one. Zach, are we on schedule?
We're still on the first page.
We're based on schedule, a little bit behind, yeah.
You're saying I'm down here somewhere?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, and heaven forbid we not do this problem. This is unit multipliers, ladies and gentlemen, or conversion fractions, or whatever you want to call it. This is what they give you. They say you have 114,400 yards. The word per is always a fraction line. Oops. And on the bottom, that is per hour. So this is 1 hour. So if they don't want it in yards per hour, they want it in miles per hour. So what label has to be changed? This one. If it needs to be changed, we need to take yards, put it down here so they cross cancel. And what am I changing yards into? Miles. But how do I know how many yards are in a mile or miles are in a yard?
It tells you.
Oh, look at there, 1760 goes with yards. Oh, what a great place for a calculator. You can make your life easier by doing what? Cross off the ending zeros because that's the same as dividing by 10. After that, I don't know if it becomes any easier rather than just doing this. That's ugly math right there. We could cut them both in half. Would that help? Sure, let's cut. What's 1/2 of 176? 88. See, this is this. Well, you guys will get what? 570? 5720. Half of that is. I'm not going to do the math. Can I not do the math? What's that? 2860. Half of that is 22 and 1430. Half of that is 11 and 715. Does that even work out?
Yeah.
What's that? 6 times is 66 and 55. How about that? 65 is the age.
Wait a minute.
Wait, so what's the 6?
Yeah.
It's 65.
After that is 22.
Wait, why are you waiting me a minute?
I couldn't.
I actually did it right all the way through.
No. It's because I couldn't see the 22. I only saw the 44 till 11. So I'm like, wait a minute. I don't understand where that was.
Well, I just did it because you can do it from here. You don't have to do any of this stuff. I just did. Just divide that into that.
You divided one.
I just kept cutting them in half until I got to the easiest problem I could get to.
So you just divided one.
Well, basically, I was reducing the fraction.
And then divide up by 1,760. You just divided it?
Yeah. You're just dividing. I just kept cutting them in half until it was as small as I could get it. Emma Miller?
So say I was Zach and I had my handy dandy calculator, would I be confused?
Ooh, what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, please.
No. Yes.
Gosh, Would I be admitting defeat? I'll let you use it on that one if you're bringing a handy there. Maybe, but what if people, see, here's where, what if somebody can't afford a calculator and they don't have one?
Well, I'm letting
Share.
Max borrow mine, so.
I'll steal it from this.
Come on.
I'm drawing.
No, my siblings have like the
You'll find it.
Yeah.
It's the yellow.
You are not using your phone.
Problem number 12. I'm not sure if you got this one wrong.
No.
You may have to go to a different level math. Put 4 in for x. Is 4 plus 4 equal 9? It doesn't. Let's move on. Solve, oh boy. Y minus 3 equals 10. You could do this, what number when you subtract 3 from 10? That's 13. Wow. Say the second half is even. Whether the set of whole numbers is closed under subtraction, and I would say it would behoove you to take that little sheet that says what whole numbers are. Whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, forever this way. Closed under subtraction means if you take two whole numbers and subtract them, will you always get a whole number? Well, if you take 4 and subtract 3 from it, yes, you do that. But if you flip it around and take 3 minus 4, you get a -1, and that is not a whole number. So you should be able to give examples of that. I'm not sure what the last be tomorrow, but it'll be something different. Wow, is the back a lot easier than the front or what? -6 plus a -5. -6 plus a minus is still -5. And again, remember, this is 6 negatives and 5 more negatives. Gives you a grand total of 11 negatives.
How?
You're always asking questions right
Wait,
now. Don't call me. Wait.
judge me. I take my time. So now we always.
Madison, did you get this problem wrong?
You got it.
-6 plus -5. Again, this is just 6 negatives, and this is 5 more negatives. You're not subtracting them, you're combining them. Plus or minus is just minus. When you put two negative numbers together, you get a very big negative number. I have to move on with that, guys, I'm sorry. This one here should not cause you much consternation. The square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 49 is 7. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 36 is 6. 4 plus 7 is 11. 5 plus 6 is 11. That's equal times. I'm hoping not many of you are that way. We did that. Hey, we're down to a fraction of what we stuck. Wait, we did that one too. Do I need to do this one, or do you understand where 3/4 came from?
We're good. Please.
One blue, 9 reds, and 2 yellows are in the bag. Oh, great. What's the probability of picking a red marble? Well, how many total marbles is that? 9, 10, 11, 12. How many of them were red? 9. So please just tell me 3/4 would be your answer. I don't know why they told us before that probability should be in that form there. Van, you have missed probably the best, most exciting, hilarious. Oh, this one here just in words, M. You're taking 9 away from M, so any way you can say that. M minus 9. 9 subtracted from M. 9 less than M. What else was there?
And decreased by 9.
M decreased by 9.
9 less than M.
9 what? Let me go with 9 less than M. Finally, the last one. If a softball player has 8 hits and 25 at bats, wow, that's a tough one too. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what? Theoretical or experimental? You cannot give theoretical probability of somebody hitting a ball.
So
Experiment.
It has to be. It actually happened. It actually is what was going on. 8 out of 25. What is the probability she would get a hit in the next at bat? A 25. Oh, as a decimal? So that means you have to divide 25 into 8. And it said do it to the nearest 1,000.
Would you just put it equal to over 100?
Or 1,000 you could. Is that what you want me to do, Zach? Problem is you get hundreds and thousands. 8 over 20, this is what Zach says to do. Make this 100, make this 32, that's 32 hundreds. My problem with that is not the answer because it said do it to the thousands place. Which I think, ladies and gentlemen, they're trying to show you what batting averages are, because if somebody's batting 320, that's what this is. Or you could just do this. Your choice, your call. But they did say to do it out to the thousands place. And we already did the table there. Do I have to do the table again?
I'm emotionally drained.
Can you show me the
Yeah.
table?
Can you explain it to me?
The table.
Wow.
It's
Lots of
so
grunting and
easy.
groaning on that.
Okay,
Wait.
well,
You want to just see the table or redo
Yeah.
the table?
Copy.
no.
I know.
What?
You do.
Wait, did you not get it right? Did you? What?
No, I got it right.
Then why can't you?
Why can't you copy your own stuff from the notes?
She lied to you. She didn't get it right.
Hey, please explain it.
No, I meant stuff that 8 and the 0, but everything else I got right.
I got
So you
it. Did it.
didn't get it right.
Oh my gosh, you people, just let me read.
Long dramatic pause there. Zach, is it okay if we stop right there or shall we go further?
Yeah, for sure.
Bad people, I will get you the answers in a sec here. So,
How did you get 0?
for this one,
Yeah.
We have to grab.
so, it doesn't say to grab it. Y equals 2x plus 4, so is my equation, correct?
Yeah.
And I am putting negative 2 in for x. So, let's do this. Y equals 2, I put a parenthesis for my x. I put negative 2 in for that. What is 2 times negative 2? Negative 4. And if I have negative 4 and I add 4 to it, I have 4 negatives and 4 positives. They are opposites. I add them together. It is nothing. Does that help? 38 minutes.